Hello and welcome to my blog. Today we're going to talk about music from the heavenly spheres. Let's start. Music permeates the spheres of heaven. It winds its way down until a crude approximation hits the earth, whereby it becomes inspiration for music, tones, cadences, rhythms, notes, melodies, vibrations on strings, and harmonies. The Spirit Kathleen communicated to the Reverend G. Val Owen about music. She revealed the origin and the beauty of music to G. Val Owen on November 12, 1917. This and almost this only do we know or think we know. It passes for knowledge with us in any wise. The heart of God is the source of harmony in music, not so much the mind of God as God's great heart. From him flow forth the love strains of his melody, and those spheres which are most near to his attunement receive those divine harmonies, and by them, with other influences combined, become more and more attuned to him who is the source of all that is lovely and lovable. Thus, as the eternities glide on, they who inhabit those far high spheres blend within themselves more and more of attributes awful and sublime, and compass, each within himself, more and more of divinity. As the white light of love originates from God, so does the divine harmonies flow from the vibrations carried by the universal fluid created by God, down from the highest to the furthest reaches of the universe. Why is music important? It releases emotions and feelings deep inside. It frees our imagination to soar above mediocrity and materialism. The Spirit Kathleen, answering a question from G. Val Owen about music in the celestial spheres, tells him, "Yes, we have music of a like nature with yours on earth, but, and there is a large but here, your music is but the overflow from the reservoir of heaven's music. You do get the gleams of the glorious harmony we have here as it comes through, but it is muffled by reason of the thick veil through which it all has to pass, even the finest of earth's masterpieces." Kathleen notifies us that we, on earth, are unable to conceive of the music in the heavens. Our physical and mental limitations imposed by our bodies preclude us from hearing the harmony from on high, but we do receive a shadow, a poor representation of what is heard and felt in the heavens. Music elevates the soul is a saying we have all heard. Music serves to channel our intellect and emotions to a different plane. Music reaches places deep within our spirit. It helps bind our force centers together and brings them into harmony. Without the power of our emotions, we stall on our ascendancy toward the light. This is why women who have had to experience life after life of hardship under unfair treatment, who are still able to retain their ability to love and nurture, rise to one level after another, while men who block out and sublimate their emotions encounter roadblocks to fully unleash the power of their mind and faith to ascend. Music assists us to combine the naked power of emotion with rational thought. Frederic Chopin. In the book No Solar by the Spirit André Louis, psychographed by Francisco Chico C. Xavier, he tells us of concerts in heaven where contented spirits sat on a verdant lawn, enjoying nature and inspiring music. In the book Memoirs of a Suicide by Yvonne A. Piera, in a city-sized complex to help and educate suicides, we are told that the Spirit Frederic Chopin entertained the students, described by the narrator Camilo Branco. Thus we are able to listen to the great composer who had incarnated more than once, always dedicating his best mental energies to art or the belles lettres, as he translated his music via images and narrations in a stunning myriad of themes. Interestingly, the Spirit Camilo describes Chopin as an unhappy soul who now realizes that it is only in the humble carpenter of Nazareth that he will find the secret of the sublime ideals that will make him happy. He presented us with the dramatic poem of his earthly migrations in fabulous expressions, of his enrapturing music, transported from the magic of sounds into the wonder of real expressions. One of his incarnations took place before the advent of the great emissary, when he was already serving the arts, cultivating the belles lettres as an unforgettable poet that lived in the very midst of the empire, the Rome of the Caesars. Souls who sense divine melodies and transform them to weave an edifying story occupy an important pedestal in the spirit world and in our physical world. Frederic Chopin is one of those. He shall return to earth once again to lift up our spirits and help us turn our eyes and minds to loftier goals. Mozart. In the book The Spiritist Review, Journal of Psychological Studies, 1859, which is a compilation of articles in a monthly magazine edited by Allan Kardec, there is an interview with the spirit Mozart, who refers to the ubiquitous nature of music in the spirit realm. In question number 5, they asked him, "Can the music in the world where you live compare to ours?" Mozart answered, "You would have difficulty understanding it. We enjoy senses that you still don't have." Question 6. We were told that there is a natural, universal harmony in your world that we do not know here. And the answer is, yes, it is true. You create music on earth. Here, the whole nature produces melodious sounds. Mozart echoes what the spirit Kathleen told the Reverend G. Val Owen, that music is part of the environment. It is one more aspect of nature. During the same session, the mediums asked to speak to Chopin. Mozart replied that that would be possible, but they were warned that Chopin was a sadder and more somber soul. After Chopin was evoked, here is what happened. Question 13. Do you miss your earthly life? Chopin's answer, I am not unhappy. Question 14. Are you happier than before? Yes, a little. Question 15. You say a little, meaning that there isn't much difference. What is it missing so that you can be even happier? Chopin answered, I say a little for what I could have been, since with my intelligence I could have advanced more than I did. Question 16. Do you expect to achieve the happiness you miss now? The answer, it will certainly come, but new trials will be needed. Question 17. Mozart said, you are more somber and sad. Why so? Mozart told the truth. I get sad because I did not accomplish a committed assignment and do not have the courage to restart. The mental state of Chopin was documented in a séance in 1859 and seconded by the writings of a spirit who had committed suicide in the late 1800s in a book published in Portuguese in 1955. How Earth Receives Music. While advising us of the poor quality of melodies we do perceive, Kathleen attempts to explain how humans catch a glimpse of what harmonies manage to reach our lowly plane. Our business with you at this time is to tell, as best as we may, in what few words suffice, some of what we take note of as this same stream descends upon us and passes onward, broadening as each molecule of tone expands of itself and thrusts its fellows outward, until by the time that stream impinges on your boundary, it has become much grosser and more coarsened in its texture, and so suited to those almost tangible vibrations available in your sphere. This stream from above us finds a receptacle here, and more than one receptacle, this used as a reservoir, and the music is molded into airs and melodies and started forth once again as a small but intense stream earthward. Immediately it begins to expand, as I've already told you, and what you receive therefore is not sterling essence, but the attenuated expansion of the original creation. It is like a small hole in a shutter of a darkened room. Through it streams a small jet of sunlight, but when it reaches the opposite wall, it is much thinner in quality, and the stream is filled with dancing motes, which only tend to obscure the brightness with which it enters through the small aperture. According to Kathleen, we are like a traveler lost in a large city, Off in the distance we hear what may be music, but it is difficult to decipher amidst the noise of cars honking, engines roaring, and tires squealing, but still a discernible melody pulls us in the direction of the harmony which gives us comfort. Some of us, in a meditative or relaxed state, can hear the notes and use them to create an earthly representation of the sound dancing in our head. Kathleen parts with the subject by saying, "Well, but even so, your music is both lovable and uplifting. Oh, bethink you then, my friend, what must the music of these spheres be? It ravish us with ennobling pain and pleasure, and each becomes in himself an accumulator of energy to give forth again what he has received, interpreted and molded by his own personality for the benefit of those who are not so progressed as he. So is the exquisiteness and potency tempered by those among us whose special aptitude is of such a kind, in order that it may not be too fine in nature for the comprehension of those higher souls on earth who catch, and in some degree retain, what thus reaches them from the master of music here aloft." Hence, the receptive souls, such as Mozart, Frederic Chopin, and others, hear harmonies that rain down upon us in their minds and fashion, as well as they are able to, utilizing their native genius, compose music to approximate the sounds emanating from heaven. If you are interested more in how the spirit world guides us, please read my book, How We Are Guided by Spirits, Book 3 of Spiritism. Book 3 illustrates the ground game of the spirit world via the messages of multiple spirits to the Reverend G. Vau Owen. We are presented examples of how the spirit realm above us peers down upon their unruly students. The process of tracking and modifying behavior on an individual and a collective basis is revealed. Even the broader direction of human society in the future is posted for all to see. God bless.